Hi guys, I hope you're okay and having a good day. This is my second attempt at this video because I kind of messed the first one up. But yeah, as the title suggests, I've had a crazy fortnight. Um, yeah, lots of stuff has gone on and happened all at once. And it started off, I was just like really kind of tired and struggling on the 31st of August. Um, Thursday, the 31st of August, I was really struggling and um, just like really tired, chronic fatigue syndrome, tired stuff. And that kind of that went on the Friday, and I was kind of relieved because I was like, I needed to go out to my GP and because they'd messed something else up again. And I'm changing, but that's another story. Um, and on the way to the doctors, I took a drink. This was like Friday, the 1st of September. I took a drink out of my bottle of Mountain Dew, and I got the worst pain in my tooth. I thought, blinking nerve is exposed in my tooth. Um, and the pain continued over the weekend. And unfortunately, because we'd had crappy weather, and in the week leading up to this, the sun was going down an hour earlier, and so it happened really suddenly. And I can pinpoint, I woke up from my nap on Saturday, the 2nd of September, at about 9 o'clock in the evening, and my seasonal affective disorder had kicked in. I was like, great. So now, on top of my tooth pain, I've got my seasonal affective disorders kicked in. And for like, as far as my seasonal affective disorder goes, that just kind of kept getting worse and worse and worse. And it was kind of like I was on the verge of tears for absolutely no reason. And I was high, but not in a good way. It was like an adrenaline rush, like fight or flight response to the whole weather situation. And a lot of people, I found out via my support group and other places, that a lot of people with seasonal affective disorder, it's hit them early this year because sudden changes earlier on in the year than usual. And so the pain in my tooth was getting worse, my seasonal affective disorder was getting worse. And like, I woke up on the Monday, my dad had gone away my dad was working away, still is anyway. My dad was working away from the Monday to the Friday. Monday the 4th to Friday the 8th. I'm counting my calendar, I've got my calendar over there. And my dad was working away from Monday the 4th to Friday the 8th of September, and Tuesday was the worst day. Tuesday the 1st of September was the worst day. I was taking ibuprofen and cocodamol on the dot when I could take, when it was safe to take them on the dot. I realised going from the Monday to the Tuesday that it wasn't a flipping nerve exposed. It was an infection, and I couldn't do a darn thing about it. I had no taxi money. I had no way of getting anywhere. Nothing. And my seasonal affective disorder made it impossible. The Tuesday to the Wednesday, Tuesday morning to Wednesday nightish, I just like stayed in my room. I shut myself in my room and slept as much as I could, and just kind of woke up on the Wednesday morning-ish, and sorry, it must have been the Monday night to the to the Wednesday morning. Anyway, I just like shut myself away, and the only reason I was waking up was to eat and to take my pain relief. That was it, and then I was going straight back to sleep again. And I just needed that to kind of help to calm myself down. But the Wednesday, I woke up and I was still bad in terms of the seasonal affective disorder. My mouth was still sore, but it was starting to ease off, and my seasonal affective disorder was like not as bad as it had been, but bad enough. And Wednesday night, I just got so annoyed with it. I just burst into tears and prayed, and it was just like, get this crap out of my head. Just, I don't want it anymore. I've had enough of it. I don't want it anymore. I woke up Thursday morning feeling better in terms of the seasonal affective disorder, and my tooth problem was easing up as well. The Thursday, I learned about, well, I kind of focused more on what I'd learned about Irma coming, Hurricane Irma coming, and sorry, I thought I just got all the dates wrong, but I haven't. I found out about Hurricane Irma coming properly on the Thursday because I checked it out. I'd kind of watched a few YouTube videos on the Wednesday and heard about Irma, and I was like, oh, heck, not again, poor America. Like, they cannot catch a break. And I've been worried about people in Texas with Hurricane Harvey, and not least my sister who's in Waco, unfortunately, far enough away from it to not get any serious effects. But I was concerned about some YouTube friends in Houston, Courtney Hale, and I was concerned about them, and I was keeping an eye on them. And I think one day that week I was relieved because they put a video up saying that their new house was fine. They're building a house, and they put a video up saying that their new house was fine, and so it was like a relief. But then Hurricane Irma was coming in on Florida, and we've got a friend out there, but we haven't been able to get hold of her. And that's nothing to worry about. It's just because we lost touch. It doesn't mean anything horrible's happened to her. We have a friend out there, and and through YouTube, there's like Charles and Ali Trippy, CTFXC, and others in Florida. And then, like, Friday night, my tooth was getting better, but things were kicking off. Like, after I'd cried on Wednesday, the seasonal affective disorder was huge, and prayed. The seasonal affective disorder was like much better on the Thursday morning. And by Friday, the 8th of September, my tooth pain had pretty much gone, and the infection must have cleared itself up because there's no other explanation for it. And it was definitely infection. I've had an infection before, I know that feeling. Yeah, anyway. So getting into Friday, I was like getting really nervous for like the people in Florida, and at that point I think I found out that it was going to go further, and I was like really worried, and so I started following like their vlogs more closely, the CTFXC Charles and Ali vlogs more closely, and I got onto Twitter, Charles Trippy's Twitter, and Ali Westenberg Trippy's Twitter, and Charles's Facebook, and I was just like checking them whenever something came up. I was like checking, and I managed to get a channel on YouTube that was like doing 24/7 coverage of Irma, And so I was following that like every time. The way I watch my YouTube videos, I go into manage subscriptions, and then you get like a list of all the channels you subscribe to, and I'll go down that list and watch them, and that way I don't miss any if my notifications don't come up or whatever. And so like every time this channel came up in my subscription box, I would watch it for 5 minutes to like see what was going on with Hurricane Irma. And so like I was just like praying all weekend. I'm a Christian, by the way. I was like praying all weekend for like people in obviously people affected by Harvey, but also like people being affected by Irma. And so like I was praying all that weekend and praying, desperately hoping that everybody was going to be okay. Anyway, following it all through, and then like huge relief on Monday when I found out that it was dying down and everything, and still following, and but like hugely relieved that Charles and Ali were fine, and they'd managed to rescue a kitten, and this, you know, this and that, and yeah, it was kind of cool what they did for their dogs as well. They kind of made a pool full of like garden, like soil and grass, for the dogs to use in the house as their toilet. They didn't use it, but yeah. Anyway, it was really cool what they did. Anyway, and they were looking after this kitten, and so like the whole weekend from the 9th to the 11th, like the Saturday to the Monday, I was like watching all the coverage of the hurricane and everything. And obviously I was concerned because by that point we knew that Hurricane Jose was coming up right behind it. And I was kind of like keeping an eye on people who were like affected by Irma going into Georgia and Alabama and South Carolina, and kind of keeping an eye on that, and concerned about people with Jose. And then it came to Tuesday night, Tuesday the 12th, and I was like, it's flipping crazy outside, it's flipping insane. Like, it was crazy windy, there was rain bashing up against the window, and it was just insane, absolutely insane. And I was like, something's going on. So I logged onto Facebook to look at the news, and we flipping got a storm that's actually been bad enough to name, and it was Storm Eileen. And I was like, what the heck? And we were getting like 75-mile-an-hour winds, and the highest recorded was 83 miles an hour. Manchester was already flooding. Wales was getting battered with winds higher than we were getting, and it was just absolutely insane. And I just didn't I didn't know what to do, to be honest. I was like, I'm just gonna like stay in, I'm not going outside, I'm staying in, I'm staying safe. And at about 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning, I heard this huge crash, like, I mean massive, and it sounded like the side gate had been ripped off of its fence and hinges. And I was like, oh crap, what the heck? I was like, well, I'm not going out now because it's absolutely wild out there, so I'll check it when I get up. The weather was due to, the storm was due to pass us by the time I was getting up for my lunch. And so I was like, I'll just check it later. And I was like, oh my word, my brother. And my brother's a truck driver, and he works away from home, like he sleeps in his cab Monday to Friday. And I was like, oh my word, because the last time we had a major storm with high winds, my dad's best mate his truck was overturned and plastered all over the national news because his truck had been blown over while he was driving it, and he was left hanging by his seatbelt, and they had to cut him out. Thankfully, he was able to walk to the ambulance with nothing more than a pulled shoulder, which obviously at the time they were going to x-ray and check it was okay and stuff, but luckily he was okay. He stayed off work for a week. He came and stayed with us, and just to kind of get over it, because it was a huge shock to his mind, and he was kind of shaken up, which you can understand. But anyway, this meant that when we had the winds, I was nervous about my brother being out sleeping in his truck. Thankfully, my brother was able to park somewhere where there was like windbreaks that shielded the truck from the wind, and he was fine. And I was like so relieved when he like put on my post that he was okay. Anyway, I went to check on the gate, and when I got up, and the gate was fine. So there's two possibilities: either it was the neighbour's gate, or somebody didn't take the wheelie bin trash can back in to their garden and left it out, and it got thrown across the road by the wind. Those are the two possibilities. So I'm just glad nobody was out there when the worst of it was going on, because people stupidly decided in the morning on the Wednesday morning to carry on and go to work and carry on as normal, even though it was like the wind was crazy and it was pouring down with rain, and people were having to like fight to walk every step up the road. Trees were falling down and blocking roads and railway tracks. And one couple, a tree fell on their car when they were driving it, and by some miracle, they walked out uninjured. And I'm like, people, why? Why? Like, you know the damage that can be done in storms in England, and like people in America, take the hint from people in America, like with the hurricanes, flipping stop. Like in America, they shut stuff down and they say stay in and stay safe, blah blah blah. They will evacuate if necessary. Thankfully, in this country, things don't usually get bad enough to evacuate, but the point is, over in America, they're sensible about it. People here, they just try and carry on, and like trees are falling down and blocking the roads. I'm like, are you stupid or something? Like, shut yourself away. Like, one day off work is not going to hurt you. Whereas if you try and get into work, you might get hurt. So, yeah, people were trying to carry on on Wednesday, yesterday, and it was just like, you're stupid. You are really stupid. You could get hurt. So I was just like, yeah. But yeah, anyway, it's by lunchtime on Wednesday, the storm had passed through and stuff, but it's definitely left a lot of mess. Flooding, trees fallen, cars smashed up, probably most likely a house smashed by a tree falling, at least one, if not more. That's generally what happens over here when we have storms like this. Yeah, but I just hope that the weirdness is over now and we can kind of carry on. And yeah, tonight I'll be able to order my stuff from Amazon as usual, and I'll be able to do my job do my running around on Monday, run my errands on Monday and stuff like that. So yes, just very strange fortnight, a very strange 14 days, and I hope it's over. So yes, I've got some fun videos on the way. Not sure what order I'm going to do them in, so I won't tell you what they are right now, but I have got some fun videos on the way, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.